toenails and blistered heels, salt stains streaking down my face. Sun is beating, muscles scream, but I'm moving at my pace. Run the riot! Leave the world behind! Run the riot! You free your body and your mind!
All right, today on the Run the Riot podcast, got a new friend, Chris Avery. What's going on, man?
How are you? Good to be here, David. Thanks.
I'm doing well, man. I'm glad we tried to do this before and had some issues, but here we are again, dude. You get to be I also do some midweek motivations, but you are episode with a guest 187. So that's your lucky number today, I guess.
Nice. I like it.
And it's only because I didn't know you sooner, you know. So.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Yeah. Well, man, where are you today? Where are you sitting?
So we're in Utah, just, getting
Nice.
some good running, getting some good cold. I think today the high was 33 or something like that, but, running when it's 21 degrees, it's beautiful,
Oh man. So me and a buddy this morning, the wind chill was 24. It was right at 30 something. And so it was pretty windy. Oklahoma was windy, and we were like, is it a treadmill day or is it well, we were run outside. We said, to quote David Goggins, we got to carry the boats. So we got
exactly. Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Well, I'd imagine out there, and I saw some of your social media, man, you get to run in some nice snow and some cold weather, huh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, those are my favorite one where the ice is just all in the beard, it's just covered and you're just covered from head to toe in snow. Those are the fun days that you get to run,
Yeah, so I'm from South Louisiana, and when moved to Oklahoma, I thought we'd get more snow. Now we do. And of course, I always got to try to, get a good run in the snow to experience it and try not to break myself. But it's fun, man. It's different. It's cool. It's everything bright.
It looks like, it's like those cold dips. Everybody goes like, oh, it's so hard. But like really if you get in cold water and it's really cold enough, you just go numb. So it's not that hard. It's just getting in. But it's like, like getting out in the snow. As soon as you get out there, it's actually, there's way worse weather, like wind, as you just brought up.
Yeah.
And rain and wind are much worse to me than snow. Snow is just fun and beautiful and it looks cool on a picture or video, and people are like, oh, that's crazy. And you go like, it's not that crazy. Yeah, it's not that crazy.
Did I see one? I was flipping through kind of quick. Did I see one of you running with no shirt on in the snow?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I need to do that next time, just to do it. It's
just fun, man. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, I feel like in the first year, especially because of all the running we've been doing, the first year out of the 4 years we've been running, it was that 1 to 4 miles every day. So it was, it's easy to pop off your shirt, go for a run and feel like a man and go like, yeah, and then go home and realize, you ran a mile.
All your neighbors are going, look at this idiot.
Yeah. They go, where are you from exactly, sir? You must not be from here.
Oh man, no, that's cool, man. Well, Chris, tell me, man. So you just said you've been running. How old are you? And tell me what got you started running, man.
Yeah, of course. So I'm 41.
Okay.
And really, what got me started was my wife. So we met. We've been married for almost 8 years, and she was running marathons when we first started dating. And I was not running any marathons or anything, I ran 5.
I was running my mouth.
Yeah, I literally was running my mouth. That's true. Yeah, that's about right. 5 times in 20 years I ran. That's how much I hated running.
Wow.
And anyway, so she's running marathons. She's like, do you want to run me? I was like, absolutely never. Don't ever ask me that. You pay people and you still have to run. And she's like, yeah, so much fun. I'm like, no. She's going to run her last marathon and her friends drop out because they didn't train enough. And so, this is a few years after she initially asked me and we were married at this point. I was like, you know what? I don't want you to drop out of your last run. I want you to complete it. And so I'll run with you so you don't drop out. I'll be like a good teammate. She's like, you will? I was like, yeah, I just want to see if I can run a marathon with no training. I just want to get shoes, walk in them for the next month and then we'll just go test it, you know?
I was thinking you were going to say, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to train, and then I'm going to run with you. Like, no, I'm just going to do it.
No, I hate running. I don't want to run more. Go ahead.
That gives us a little bit of your mindset right there. All right. Yeah. I know who I'm dealing with. All right.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I hated running literally, so I don't want to do more of it than I have to. You know, if I can just do it all in one day, just wrap it all up in all 26 miles all in one day. Let's get it done. So we go out and run that, and man, something that day, and as you know, you run enough. Just when you run something that you're really not prepared for, your body breaks down. So all you have is like your soul, and I felt more deeply connected to God that day than I had, I think, had been my first like 30 some odd years of my life, you know. And so that day I went, man, there's something to running. So then, of course, what do? I go home and I'm like, I'm gonna run all the time, and I just don't. Right? I hardly ever run. And so COVID comes up and we're training for to run a 50 miler. So I run a 50 miler just with my wife supporting me. And then, you know, we do that. And we're like, oh, that was cool. That was epic. You know, people are texting us. We're social media in it. And, you know, me and my wife, I get in the car at the end of the day and I'm exhausted because, you know, I just ran for 50 miles and I'd never done that before. And so like, you know, she's telling me about the people that have commented and we're both crying about the impact. And then January of 2022, you know, like after that, I ran very inconsistent. So that was 2020. Then 2022 comes around. And on January 9th, I was like, man, I should, you know what? I really want to see if I can run consistently. And I was like, let me do a mile. And so I did a mile that day. I was like, let me start doing a mile every day. Like, let me see if I can run. And I looked back on my tracker because even training for the 50, I never ran more than 4 days in a row.
Gotcha.
So I was like, let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can even run for a week, 1 mile a week or 1 mile a day for a week. So I go do that. We end up crushing that. So then we do that for 90 days. And then as we're doing that, I'm like, we'll go up every day or every 90 days, we'll go up a mile. And right now, so we've been doing that for 4 years. We're running 17 miles a day right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I saw stuff about your streak, and I'm thinking, oh, he's keeping the streak going while he's training for all this stuff, and so wow, that's impressive, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So
well, let's rewind real quick. I want to know your body. How did your body respond to that first marathon? Let's just go back to there, like. No training.
The day you want to talk about, like the day after? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, yeah, like at the end of it, like, you know, what was your time?
Yeah. So I think my time was over 5 hours. So it was a long, slow run, you know, 5 hours, 5:05, 5:15, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly.
That's not, like, you know, I mean, yeah, you got it done.
Yeah. I mean, bro, at like 8 miles, I was like, well, I've run the farthest I've ever ran. I could just quit. I could be done. And I was like, you should keep going, you know, and then we get to half a marathon. And in that half marathon, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea about pacing. I have no idea about fueling. I don't have any idea about anything. Right. So like, you know, they're halfway in. You're starving. I'm starving to death because I don't know how to gel and fuel, and I don't have any of that stuff.
Like crazy, just running through peanut butter. Yeah.
And you know, so like then your right leg starts cramping, your quad, then your glute starts cramping, then your left calf starts cramping, and then it just starts to dance. It just starts to move around.
You just and Frankensteining down the trail.
Yeah, literally. And that's all it was for the second half of the marathon, was just cramping the whole time. But like my feet were amazing. No blisters.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Somebody told me to lube my feet, so I lubed my feet before we went, and no blisters at all. And so it was crazy.
So did you and your wife run together? Did y'all run together, or were you just y'all both doing it?
We were both doing it. Yeah. I mean, like we saw each other here and there, you know, just because of the way the course went down the hill and stuff. But certainly we, like, after I finished, I ran back on the course and got her because she was suffering way more than me. And like, she trained way more than me, but she was just still blisters all over and, you know, suffering in her own way.
Yeah. Got you. Well, suffering has a way of making us focus on our faith. No, you're gonna have to help me. I'm about to die here, so I'm gonna rely completely upon you because I'm stupid. That's good. Oh man. So this streak. So every 90 days, adding a mile, and now you're at a 17 mile a day.
Yeah.
What does that come out to? What is that a week? What is it? What is that in a week?
It's roughly like a little over 120 miles a week.
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah.
That's something, man. So, yeah, how do you, okay. So, I'm a coach too. Your body, I guess, because of the way you've done it, you feel like your body has just kind of adapted to it, and it's like, all right, this is life. And,
yeah, man. Like if you want to get deep into it, like the third year we had shin splints for almost a whole year. And I just kept running, walking through them. Luckily we found somebody that's a massage therapist that helped massage us and get like some of the form back to a better setting, and that really helped them go away.
Okay.
We've had hernias, so we've had a massive amount. So has my body responded? Yeah, in different ways. sometimes really positively, other times not. But I mean, again though, like so when I started this too in 2022, I wanted to show people like what a 5-year timeline of building up to something would be. So building up to something massive, because it is massive. We're going to run the perimeter of America. We're going to do 50K a day, so 30 miles. An ultra marathon every day for 365 days straight. So that's what we're building up to, and I wanted to show people like it may look amazing when somebody looks after we finish it or as we're running it. People go like, "Oh, that's crazy, that's amazing." But they didn't see all the other, every day, the darkness at the night when nobody else is awake and I'm out there running when I have flu and I figure out some way to get it done, And so to me, like, has my body responded? Absolutely. I tell my body almost every day, like, God built me for this. God built me for this. God built me for this. I mean, I don't, maybe that's not true, but I believe it. And my body believes it. And every day, like every time we think something's going to stop us, God gives us like other doorway open. And so I think it's sometimes less about my body responding. And I think it's more about, in scriptures where it's like, he shines through my weakness. And because this is like, shows me everything I'm weak in, and it shows me how weak of a man I really am. Yet it shows me his full strength coming through. And I think that's the more profound piece than my body. Because, I even I was talking to a guy at church one time, and he's like, "Are you worried about your body breaking down?" I was like, "Absolutely not." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely not." And I said, "God made me for this." And I said, if I don't, like, if something breaks and I don't finish, then God is like, that's happening for me, and God is working through me. So if I'm not meant to finish, I'm not meant to finish, but I'm meant to shine God's light out into the world from whatever, like the broken leg. Then how do I come back? I shine that to people, right? Yeah. So to me, it's not about will my body hold up well, and it's held up well, and it's hurt and faltered, and those are like the amazing part. All that is the beauty of it, like all that's the way of it,
Yeah,
it's
that. Interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. And, I did a midweek motivation recently about like identity and this is ultimately like, this is what we do. And this is where God has you right now. This is what he has you doing right now. And this is what he's magnifying himself through you right now. But like you said, and sometimes we lose the sight of, our identity, and we start identifying as the runner guy, the ultra guy, or whatever. And we got to be careful with that, because God could take that away from us at any time. And we'd be like, okay, we have to recognize that we're much more than that. And it's what God's using right now. And it's something that he's used. I heard in one of your posts, that God's used running to help you, draw you to him. And I can testify to that. I've been running on trails, praying. I've been known to be worshiping and singing in the woods, crying in the woods, dealing with some junk in there, but it's been great, and man, with 17 miles a day, you got plenty of time to talk to the Lord.
That's people like, what do you listen to? I'm like, well, I listen to a lot of scriptures. I listen to a lot of like, spins and stuff. And like, oh, I'm like, yeah, 3 hours, right? When I'm out there 2.5, 3 hours every day, they're like, wow, that's a lot. I'm like, yeah, it is a lot. I love it.
I can consume some good content.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, nothing I don't know anything else that I could have chose to do in my life right now that would give me the freedom to go run 2.5 hours every day and consume the Lord's word every day and
Isn't that
just be
great?
deep and be out in the wilderness because I don't run on treadmills. That's one of my rules. Like
Oh,
no
wow.
treadmills.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is
So like
you
if it's
see
cold
this?
out, I don't. You go, yeah, yeah.
For the
That's
4th
probably.
year, I did the 100 miles on the treadmill. And for
Oh,
everybody listening, I just showed him my shirt. I'm wearing the treadmill ultra shirt.
oh, geez.
Yeah.
So you do 100 miles on a treadmill?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. I think I'd go insane after that. That
It
sounds
was rough.
crazy.
Praise the Lord for Netflix and stuff like that.
Real wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
But no, that's, and that's what I tell people, I do sometimes run with nothing, but when I race, I do nothing more often. But when I'm training, I'm listening to books, I'm listening to sermons. I have people I listen to news stuff too. But yeah, I mean, use the time.
absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. Well, so okay, you're doing 17 miles a day. Tell me, like, what's your typical day look like? Like, how does are you just I don't know, Monday morning, Chris is getting up, you got stuff to do. Like, what's your day look like Monday?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed beyond belief. I get up and I start with scriptures, of course, and prayer. I do my best not to miss that, just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that sets up my day and just sets life. And when I know my covenant with Him, like I know where I'm headed.
Yeah.
Um, I usually hang out with my family. We have some breakfast. Um, and then I get up, then I go for a run, just hang
Yeah.
out with them, enjoy the morning, and then I go for a run. And then if I need to split up the run because of business, I usually will go for a run, then I'll come home and I'll work, and then
Yeah.
I'll go finish the run in the evening, or I'll finish it all in the morning time to mid afternoon time, and then just work for the rest of the day. So nothing
Gotcha.
too exciting, but that's usually how it flows,
Yeah.
Somewhat, but I also am very good about I put God and my family, first, and then I can always run late. And people, if you look at some of my videos, like I'm out here at 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m., and people are
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing, bro?" But that's just
I'm running.
that's when it works to get those miles in, And it
Yeah.
really is just finding a way to win. And I'd love to tell you I have like a detailed schedule. I don't. I'm very caught up with my
It's day by
schedule,
day.
and yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. Especially with business and 2 little kids and a wife. I kind of let it
Yeah.
flow how it flows.
Nice. How old are you kids?
So my little girl's 3 years old, and my little
Nice.
boy is, let's see, 11 months.
Oh, wow,
Oh
dude.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you
There
got
you,
a your house is probably not very quiet when
oh yeah,
you're
yeah.
home.
Not quiet and not calm, not peaceful, not clean. It's chaotic.
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I love.
that's it. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah, it's definitely
Well,
been it's definitely been a learn to love it kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta adapt to it because it's gonna be what it is.
It is, yeah, no doubt, for sure.
Yeah. Well, so um, y- and I would say people that have listened to the podcast a lot know that that's why I'm up 4 every morning. I get up early. I get that done. So I can be available in the evenings. And my wife will say, yeah, but sometimes you got podcasts to do. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but trying to work through, trying to balance life as much as possible and put first things
Absolutely.
first. And it's important. It's important. So what kind of work you do, man?
So I coach men. So we coach men that
Yeah.
are between 25 and 40, really looking to pursue their purpose and understand God's word and how to tie that into their purpose and really have that courage and drive and certainty that they want to have to accomplish, their bigger goal of their purpose and their business.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's life and business,
Yeah,
direction and
so really what we do is we make them run. We get them connected to Christ and his word and understanding like the covenant and the promise that he makes us when we make a promise with him.
yeah,
And then that really helps them give courage to go pursue their purpose and get out there because they're sitting on the fence usually of like, oh, I'm kind of doing it, but I'm not, I need to be doing it
yeah.
more. And we just help them give them backbone and get out there and have accountability and a brotherhood of men out there doing the same thing. So it helps, reinforce that.
That's fantastic. So you'll love this. We're here in Tulsa, Oklahoma area, and so some of I'm an IT director at a Christian school, and one of our my coworkers, he's involved in what's called Mountain Men, And what they
Okay.
do is it's a group of men that meet, and they don't meet often, but they have accountability with scripture and stuff. But what they do is they set a time in the year and they'll go like scale a 14er in Colorado, and they'll go camping, and then they'll go and we've had multiple conversations, and he wrote a book that's fantastic. I commend it to you. It's called Forged. I'll send you the link, and I'll post it in here for anyone who wants to listen. It's a great devotional for men. But we've had a lot of conversations about we need something to physical along with that. We need something to strive toward. We need something that we're working toward physically while we're working on ourselves spiritually, because that's how God wired us, And even on my run this morning with a buddy, we were talking about that. Like, why do we do these stupid things? Well, we need that,
That's what we do.
And have you? I mean, is that your experience? Is that kind of why you do what you do with work wise?
Absolutely, man. You have to have the physical, right? And you have to have the challenge. You have to have the competition. You have to have the camaraderie. You have to have the brotherhood. And that all comes into the physical, because we're all, and I mean this like, in a sense, this can be used in a negative way, but like most of us, we need to have men around us to push us harder, to show us like, oh, we are more. Oh, like, oh, Dave's like, right, David's coming behind me. Like, I got to push my speed. And that's not in a negative way, like I'm going to destroy myself. That is in a positive of becoming the best men we can be. So you have to have the physical side with the mental and spiritual side, right? Because, and running, the thing that with running is, I've worked out a ton at the gym, but running to me gives you mental clarity, emotional resiliency, and a spiritual connection that I never got by lifting a weight. And the physical challenge is much harder. Like when I went to the gym, I'll be honest, I went most of the times because I like to look in the mirror and go like, ooh, my muscles are growing.
Yeah.
When you run, you go in the mirror and you go like, oh, my muscles are shrinking. This sucks, you know?
Exactly.
I'm choosing the wrong sport. So I think that's the part of having the physical side in with the brotherhood, and then in with the mental training and the spiritual training.
I love that. And I've had a lot of conversations about, I've got good friends. If we're in a race, if we both toeing the line at a race, like we're racing, you know, and I win after, I'm going to get high fived and, like, dude, good job. Same thing with, if they win, like, dude, you got me today, man. Good job.
For sure.
I zig when I should have zagged, whatever. And it's healthy. And I think, people talk a lot about toxic masculinity, and there is that. I think we take those tendencies, like anything God made for good, Satan will twist it and can make it bad. And there's that overbearing, negative side of competition. But that doesn't make it, just because that's there doesn't mean that the whole thing's bad, And so I agree. I think we need to push each other, and not just, I don't know, make excuses for each other. Like, no, dude, suck it up. Let's go.
Yeah. I love that. And the thing with toxic masculinity, I just want to say this real quick, is I think the thing about it is people don't realize when you take God and you just give ego to man, it's going to become toxic. Every word you put like toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, toxic whatever, if you get rid of God and you just give human ego, it's going to become toxic. We know that. Like, that's the reason thou shalt, right? The 10 Commandments, those are the reason they're important, because they are now, like, running even is much more of a spiritual thing to me than it is a physical thing. Because when we're after the flesh, we're already in trouble. But if we're after the spirit, we'll always be righteous and whole. And we know that.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good. Well, no, I think, I don't know. I think it's, anybody listening right now, just question why you do what you do, and your identity. And I don't know, maybe you've been struggling with some things, and just know that there's more. And be glad to talk to you about it. I'm sure Chris too. We'll have his contact stuff on there, But
no, definitely contact David, because I've listened to some of your week motivations, and not saying that those are your best, but everybody should listen to those because those are the best. But like, and you've had a lot of talk about identity, and to me, even when I started running the first year or two, my wife would always go like, "Hey, do you feel like you're finally a runner now?" Because I would always say, I'm not a runner. And and even I thought about this yesterday, because yesterday was really the end of 4 years, and I thought, like, man, I still don't feel like a runner.
Huh. That's wild.
I am a man that runs.
Yeah.
But going back to even what you're saying, David, about his identity is even when I became a coach, I was very aware of like I don't want people to say like, "Oh, you're a coach or you're the coach," because then I'm attached to being a coach. And
Yeah.
if I don't like if something changes in my life and that doesn't fit anymore, now I like stick to this thing because society thinks I'm that. And so
Yeah.
now I'm stuck in this box, even if I
Yeah.
don't want to be the coach anymore. And now there's like this shame and guilt around trying to leave the coaching box if I don't want
Yeah.
to be a coach. And the same thing
Yeah.
with running. Like I even thought last night, like, my wife's asked me for like, when we get done with running the perimeter, Chris, will you stop? Like, will you take a day off so we can all just hang out as a family? I said, most likely I will stop running the day I don't want to feel good. And
Mm.
she's like, "Oh." And I was like, "'Cause every day I run, I feel better than before I ran that day,
Yeah.
mentally,
Yeah.
physically, spiritually."
Yeah.
And so to me, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to be known as a runner. I don't want my brain to just think like, "Oh, Chris, you're a runner." Because now after this, I still have to run even if I choose to go do something else. And there's always this ripping of your
Yeah.
old self to your new self, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. And I've had people ask me before, like, because I have a knee issue. I've had multiple surgeries on it from tearing my ACL a few times, um, and so it's like, what if you can't run anymore? And I was like, well, I'd have to do something physical because that's just I got to do something. But
Yeah.
I'd probably struggle a little bit, but I'd figure it out. I'd
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be the gym guy flexing in the, in the mirror. Let's see how big I can get my biceps, Lord.
Oh,
Yeah. But so I would imagine you're running 17 miles a day. What are you eating, man?
yeah, I knew that
Everything?
was question was going. Just anything, man. Like somebody asked me that, I don't know, last week or something. I was like, I'd love to tell you I'm great about my diet. I'm not. She's like, "What do you eat?" I was just like, everything.
Yeah, just
Like everything,
yes.
too much sugar,
Yeah.
too much carbohydrates, too much fats, too much protein, too much veggies, too much fruit. I just said everything. Like I
Well,
try to, I still eat healthy, but like, man, that's a lot of calories that you have to
yeah.
consume every day,
Yeah. Did you ever track like do you ever think about it at, like, like I gotta get more food in, or you just kind of by now you just eat, you gotta
Yeah, you
eat a
just
lot
eat
because you
and
gotta
like,
eat a lot,
yeah, and that's the thing is like what the goal is almost now is eat, and then as soon as you eat, you feel hungry, like where you still go like, oh, I'm not full, still have room. So then you go like, okay, in the next hour, I'm gonna eat some more, and then
Yeah.
a couple hours go by, and you go like, I'm just gonna eat some more, and that's pretty much your daily schedule. And then you get to bedtime, you're like, I just ate dinner, but I'm hungry, so I should eat some more, and then you go to bed. So that's really it. That's the
You
key.
say it's a new listen to your body. And you're like, okay. My body says I'm hungry. And your wife's like, Chris, the grocery bill.
Yeah, no doubt. That is true, man. That is true.
You need to coach some more people, bro. No, that's good, man. That's good. So when is your 90 days? Because you're gonna get to 18 miles a day. You're moving. So at the end of this year, are you going to be? What are you going to?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't calculate.
good.
So tell me
No
about these
worries.
calculations here.
Yeah. So right now we'll be to the 10 miles right by around the end of January. So we'll get up to about 21 miles. We also may adjust. We may change it to where we're going up every 60 days just to get more miles closer.
Yeah.
And we're discussing with some of our coaches and people that are helping us with this.
Yeah.
That we just recently got. The rest of most of this plan has just been made up from what I feel like promptings from God, and I just do them and they work, and I go like, we'll just keep doing them then,
That works.
But so we'll get up to 21, 22 miles before we start the journey at the beginning of the year of the upcoming year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what birth, like, where did this come from? What sparked the desire to run the perimeter of the United States?
Yeah. Man, that's so hard to answer sometimes, really, I already told you about the running part. We started running, and when we started running in 22, earlier in January, we're like, what can we do, And we're like, well, I think somebody was on YouTube was like running across America, and they were doing it 75 miles a day or something, so it was something huge. I was like, we could run across America. That'd be fun. So, my wife looks that up, and then, Google knowledge says it's 200 to 500 people that have run it before. And we're like, okay, that's too many people, So that's,
Yeah.
and how far is it? It's only
Everybody's
33.
doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And then, we looked it up, and it's 200 to 500 people. It's 3,300 miles. And of course, ego driven. We're like, oh no, that's too small. Well, that's too short. And then my wife's like, well, we could go there and back. I was like, that'd be cool. And I was like, but that's only 6,600. That's not enough. And so then we're like, well, let's do a V, like from the upper West Coast down to the bottom of Texas, back up to the East Coast. And just over the time it evolved.
Yeah.
And I think it was about 3 years in, my wife said, or 2.5 years in, my wife said, like, hey, why don't you run the perimeter? That'd be really cool. And then we just started doing research on it, and we're like, nobody's ever run it this many days consecutively, ultramarathons consecutively. And she's like, let's go do it. And we're always a family that's like, we're going to get an RV while our kids are young, and we're going to travel. And I was like, this will be perfect. This will be the kickoff to us traveling around America with our kids. And she's like, perfect. And I said, we'll see America like no one else, 30 miles at a time,
Yeah. That's amazing, dude. That's great.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up. So right now, in fact, I run her races. The person who has the record for the most 50Ks consecutively, 200, is Candace Burt, the race director for the she does the race director for the 200 milers, Destination Trail.
Yeah.
races.
And that was was it just last year?
Last year, or year
ago?
before, something
Okay.
like that. It was pretty recent. Yeah,
It was. Okay.
yeah. And so, man. So, that, you'll beat it. If you...
That's the plan,
That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, I didn't look at the map really well. Have you guys, kind of mapped it out? Like, are there, because I was trying to think, I said the hard part might be like just finding all the, the roads, and connect them and stuff. Cause, man, that's, especially, I don't know, there's just going to be some spots that'll probably be hard to get, but, have you kind of started planning that out, mapping that out?
We've looked at it. And so what we'll do is we'll do our best to stay as close to the border as possible. We won't be bushwhacking or anything. We'll stay on the road. You can't go on certain highways. So if you run on certain highways, they just pick you up. They give you a ticket, they arrest you, they take you to the next exit. You piss them off enough, they'll keep you in jail for a few days, I'm sure. So we're just working to figure out which roads are completely accessible to us and which ones aren't.
Nice.
But yeah, we're doing our best to look at that, figure that out ahead of time. And sometimes people are like, how do you? And sometimes the answer on these big things is we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We adapt it just like a long run, right? You adapt and figure it out. You got a plan. Sometimes the plan doesn't go to plan, and that's most of the time. So you just adapt and figure it out.
I've rarely had a race that everything went perfect. Usually something, you're running 100 miles or whatever, and something's gonna fall off the rails, or something will break, or I'll break mentally or something. You just gotta figure it out, man.
For sure.
That's cool. So what are you guys going to do it in a calendar year or?
So January 1st, so January to 2027, we'll start in Arizona because me and my wife are both from Arizona.
Nice.
Then we'll go down just towards Texas, go down to the bottom of Texas, back down to the bottom of Florida. So we'll go all the way down the, lower, bottom southern coast. Then we'll go up the East Coast because, we're trying to stay out of the weather as much as possible, out of tornadoes, hurricanes, all the other fun stuff that you get to worry about in Louisiana.
I know about those.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm in Oklahoma, so I know about the tornadoes.
Good boy. Yeah, you got it all. You chose some good spots to live. So back up through Maine and then back across the northern part, hopefully through the summer and back, early, spring or whatever it is, and then back down for the winter, back through all of Oregon and Washington and back through California and back in AZ to finish out at the December 31st of 2027.
Wow.
Yep. So a whole calendar year.
That's gonna be something, man. It's gonna be cool. I mean,
it will be something.
you're gonna. I don't even you can't even this is like extreme. I've run the furthest race I've run 200. I run the 240. I ran the Moab 240, and that is so difficult to figure and plan out. Now the good thing is you're doing it at like 31 miles ish a day. I'm sure some days might be a little depending on what you got to do, but like you just don't know. Like, are you going to be, what's the weather going to be like this day? I don't know, but I got to run,
Yep.
What's, and what's going to be near there? I don't know. It's going to might be a long time between towns. We'll have to get
For
food
sure.
and ahead
For
of time.
sure.
And, it's definitely going to be an adventure, but with your wife like on board and there, it's going to be, you're going to have your ups and downs, I'm sure, but it's going to be such a unique adventure to do as a couple, and as a family.
It will be, and that's another piece, right, that I chose to want to do, is I want to show people, like, bringing your, if you have this big tenacious dream in your life and you want to go pursue it, even if it has nothing to do with running, but yeah, you're still listening to this podcast, realize like you can do it. Most of us think like, oh, I got children, that's the reason I can't do it. Oh, I'm married now, so I can't do it. I use those all as reasons to do it, right? Me and my wife want to have we have one shot at this life, as far as I know. I want to create the most incredible story. And and I want to be honest, David, this is just a chapter story. Like, this is not the full book.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like there's more to come after this. But like for me and my wife, I go like, man, what an incredible journey. Hey, when I'm out and I'm running 31.5 and I need a little break, you guys come out, you bring a little blanket, we sit it down by a river, we have a picnic, and then I get back out and go finish my mile. Like, no, very few people are ever going to be able to say they did that in their life.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we're going to go out there. And I said, to me, like, I'm not out here for the pace. I'm out here for the race. And so if we're just out here to do the race, then like, there is no particular way that it has to look. Everybody else can tell us how it should look. We get to decide how it looks. And we get to decide like the miracles that happen from it and the beauty that comes from it. And that's the amazing part about going and doing this, is we're writing all of our rules. Like the treadmill rule, I made that up, right? That was nobody told me to do that. Like nobody told me that, like, how to set up the rules around this run. I set them all up because I chose this, and nobody else. I'm not reading somebody else's book trying to duplicate it.
Yeah, that's what Chris wants to do. Yeah,
yeah,
it's how
yeah,
you
and
feel like
hopefully,
you want to do it.
and I mean this. Hopefully, it's what God wants us to do. Because how this all got started was I wanted to show people a 5-year plan. I want to show people like how great, because there are those amazing people that we both know of, like David Goggins and the other people, where you go like, man, if they've done something crazy and they've done something where people go like, that's impossible, we can do it too, because they're human. And so like when I saw that, I go like, man, God created us for so much more than we give ourselves credit for, so much more than we speak. Like Proverbs 18:21, life and death is by the power of the tongue. Those that eat the fruit of, therefore. Like, so like whatever you eat the fruit of, whatever you speak, you believe, and then you eat that fruit, and then that either kills you or causes you to live. And I want to show people like, man, if we start speaking good to ourselves about ourselves, if we understand we come from God, that we are unstoppable through Him, man. And I wanted to show that with running, right? And that's part of this journey of going around America, and hopefully part of the training too that people see, because I want people to see the training just as much as the finished run. Because people get caught up and go like, ooh, look at like everybody go like, oh, David Goggins did the pull-up record or did whatever record, right? Or whoever the new person is, it's not David Goggins anymore. And we go like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Truett Haynes broke
There you
it.
go. Truett Haynes. I knew you were going to bring him up because that's the new Goggins, it feels like. He's doing some other thing now, and he's running in jeans like a psycho. You know, and I love him. Yeah. Awesome. What are you doing, bro?
That's his rule.
Exactly. It's his life. I love it. And so, to be honest, like when I see that, man, you're no different than a Goggins. You're a human being, and God's in us. And I want to show people, man, when we're aligned with God, when we're willing to like push past because there's moments you just feel so broken. There's moments where you feel like, I can't do anymore. I can't handle it anymore. And there was a few months or like a year and a half ago, I had a disagreement with my wife, and I'm praying in my room, and I prayed for God's strength through this run so many times. Like I pray for like him to give me more strength, right? Like, God, give me more strength. Help me. I got a big blister. Help me through this. Give me more strength, right? Help me get off my butt and go running tonight, even though it's 11:59 p.m. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I was just, had that disagreement with my wife, and I was praying to God about the run and stuff, and could I keep going? And I just heard in that moment, like, stop praying for your strength. Pray for like God's strength. And I started praying for his strength instead of my strength. And that's been a game changer.
Yeah.
It's because you get to see really how like his beauty and his strength shine through these hard times.
That's good, man. Our strength's not enough.
No, it's not. I've tried that. I can tell you. I can tell you my life before God and what that looked like underneath my strength, and it wasn't pretty. So.
Yeah. I heard somebody say, "I've seen what I can do. I'm not impressed. I want to see what God can do."
Yeah, for sure. That's true. No doubt.
Oh man. Well, so I'd like for you to speak to this because this is funny. I just saw a video recently, and it's a compilation, and I don't want to make this all about David Goggins, but it's a compilation of people just randomly seeing David Goggins run on the side of the road, and they film him, and they're like, "Hey," and he's like, with some bad words, like "Go run,"
Yeah,
and
for sure.
he's but what stood out to me on that, and my listeners have heard me say this a lot, his consistency, like no matter where the dude is, he's going run, and he's, and we've heard about it, seen it. He's freezing cold. He's out there with no shirt on, just running, but so, and I've said this before, and I was like, success equals consistency over time. And I don't know if and I think that's pretty good. And so I would like, I mean, you're embodying that, dude, like, a consistency over time. So just speak to that, because you started with a mile a day, and that helped flip a switch for you. Just that. And that's, and to some people that may be a lot, but that's not a whole lot,
No.
if a really 15 minute, even if it's a really slow mile, that's, anybody can do that, pretty much. And so just, I don't know, speak to that for a minute, man, because this is pretty powerful. I think some people need to listen to that. And this goes with running, reading your Bible, prayer, anything that you want to become good at and grow at, consistency over time. So.
Yeah. So I love that, first of all. And I love that you said a mile. It's so easy. That's the reason I chose a mile. Because I literally, if you can walk, if you can like physically move your body, that means in less than 30 minutes, you could walk a mile. If you're the slowest walker, you could walk a 30-minute mile. Yeah. If you're a slow runner, it's a 15-minute, but like, for me, it's, 7 to 10 minute run, and then 15 minutes if I'm speed walking around, So I knew like that's for anybody. Oh man, consistency, one of my favorite words, so few understand the power behind it. And I'll say this, so few understand they use the word the D word, and I'm sure you know what it is, discipline, right?
Discipline,
everybody it's like this sexy word that everybody bathes in, and they talk about it, and we reminisce, like, remember that day when I was so disciplined? Oh, David, those days are coming back, and I love it, man. It's kind of one of my pet peeves, but when we understand that, we look at consistency over time, because you're right, like it's like the work over time, and that's what makes you who you are. Yet to me, we bring in this word discipline, and so many people seeing my run go like, "Oh, I wish I was that disciplined." And I said, it's because you don't, identity-wise, you don't know what drives you. You don't know what like you're determined by, and you don't know what you're dedicated to. And if we don't do the first 3 Ds, drive, dedication, determination, and we don't understand those inside ourselves, then it's harder to get to the discipline, because discipline is actually those doing the drive, the determination, dedication consistently, and then you build up discipline.
Yeah.
And discipline, most people are really what they're referring to as resiliency, right? And in front of your mid anterior cingulate cortex, which is right behind your prefrontal cortex, is where we build up the resiliency. So that happens only from doing something over and over and over and over consistently that sucks. That's how you get get resiliency. Yeah. So to me, once we understand like what we're driven by, right? And then we go like, okay, like what are you dedicated to? Like what is the thing you will do? And then what is your thing that how do you feel determined by it? And when we lay those 3 layers, then it's easier to get disciplined. But like none of that happens without consistency. None of it. And that's the reason I started with a mile. Because if we started with 17 miles, David, like I would have stopped after day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
said day 1, and this is something that I make every one of my clients do, and this is where any client that I've seen fail, this is their number one fail thing. Is we start with 1 mile with them, and most of them like, oh, that's too small. I could do better than that. I said, I know you can.
Yeah.
And then some of them do, and they're like, and I'm like, hey, after a week, I'm like, how's it running going? Like, oh, I'm not doing it. And I said, yeah, how many miles are you running? And they're like, well, I ran one day for 5 miles, and I was just so exhausted, like I didn't do the next day. I said, yeah, that's the reason we start with a mile. It's because you want to start so small that you have to build up, and the consistency is so easy. Right? If you do, so this is what I said to people. I say, if you set your goal and you look at it, you go like, let's say it's a mile a day. If you look at that today and you laugh at if you think about like not doing it and you laugh at yourself, that's the size you should be doing. Because if I looked at a mile and went like, hey, but you know what, I'm not going to really do it today, I laff at myself and go like, that's really stupid. Like I have 15 minutes. I can get outside for. I can get outside. I'm pretty sure I have 7 to 15 minutes. I can get outside for today. And then you just the thing about it too is after the consistency, you just build up this knowledge that no matter what, you get out and do it. And because that's built up behind you, it's like somebody asked me, you know who David Goggins is? I'm sorry, you know who James Iron Cowboy is?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Did an Ironman a day for how long?
Yeah, so he did 100 Ironmans in 100 days in Utah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Amazing.
Look, if you're listening to this and you've never heard him, look up James Iron Cowboy.
Look him up.
Yeah, look him up. Listen to some of his podcasts. Incredible guy. But anyways, one of my friends was like, have you got to the Iron Cowboy point where it's like harder to not do it than it is to do it? And I said, oh yeah, because I've been consistently running so long that it'd be harder for me to physically, right? My central nervous system would fight, like would get in a fight or flight if I tried to bed tonight without running, because it'd be like, it caused like anxiety and stress in my body because it knows we have a goal and it knows we've been doing it and it has the consistency to show it. So the consistency is part of that building up for that habit and that discipline where you go like, of course I'm going to do it because I've been so consistent. My body, it hurts or will be painful for me not to do it. And there's something incredible about that. And that only comes from the C word, which is consistency.
I like it, man. I like it. And those are things I've read the book. You've probably heard of it or read it. Atomic Habits. Really good. I commend it to everybody. It's fantastic. But like even, and I want, for running, we need to do physical things. But like, some people always, I always try to read my Bible daily and I fail, whatever. Well, start with a verse a day, or something small and then build on that because you just make it what you do. And just like, I get up and this is what I do, and you just make it part of your daily life and it becomes, like you said, like you're running. And so like for, just to share, and I always tell people this, like for Bible reading and stuff, like I have a place, it's right over there. I have a chair and I don't come sit in front of this computer in the morning. I go sit there and my Bible's sitting right on the side. I have my journal and my pen, and that's what I do. I grab my coffee, I get my water, and I sit down, and that's the first thing I do in the morning. And so it's built in. And
love that.
And that's just, I got to do it,
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I do the others. And so, and that's for anything, if, and have you heard of 75 hard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of people are embracing that. It's hard, but it opens their hearts and their, that's not starting easy. That's starting like, boom, it's a lot, 2 workouts. One has to be outside.
It really is.
10 pages. Yeah. It is. But some people, when they get through it, they're like, man, I accomplished something.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to come up with one that's like a 25-day easing into 75 hard. Like build it slow, and by the end, But anyway, it's you start recognizing what you're capable of, and you're building that resilience into your body, into your mind, and everything else, and it's amazing what we can accomplish, man. It's amazing.
It really is, man. And like from somebody that was has been such a quitter in his
Mm,
life that
yeah.
has failed at so many things that like, and I'll say this, like, I feel like I'm weaker than ever, and I'm grateful for that because I know God shines through me. Yet the
Yeah.
failures and the things I gave up on, those weren't from weaknesses. Those are just
Mm,
from not understanding God's like energy and not understanding really what's important in life because I was younger. But
yeah.
those part of those failures are the greatest fuel to keep
Mm,
going every day and every night out here. So even
mm,
if you're sitting listening to this, you're like, man, I've never done that before, Chris. That sounds so hard. Me neither. Welcome to the team. I hadn't
yeah.
done it either. So welcome to the
Yeah.
team. I get you. And if you're sitting home like, man, I
Mm,
just like, let me tell you, Chris, about my past. I get it. Like like sit down with David, sit down with me. Like we've all had and yet that will, if we can determine who we want to be today and tomorrow, the past will never prevent us from achieving that if we're willing
that's
to
right.
keep at it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and this is a just a life thing in general. We've got to keep moving forward. That's why one of the things I love about ultra running is like relentless forward progress. You just even you just keep moving another step. You don't have to know the whole path ahead, but next step, next
Yep.
step, next step. It's beautiful. But also as men of God, like, man, we've all got junk in our past that we've done and that we regret and wish we wouldn't have done and all of that, but we can't live there. We can't marinate in that. We can look back and acknowledge it and learn from it. But man, that was back then. That's forgiven. That's done. And
Yep.
you know, God's got some steps ahead of me. He's got some plans ahead, and I don't know them all, but I can take the
Yeah.
next step.
Yeah. And again, if you read scriptures, like, you know, you'll see that most men that we admire in scripture and we the good story of, we also don't know the like bad story of. Like
Yeah.
David had his own issues, yet did
Yes.
amazing works for in God's name, right?
Yeah.
And yet like Samuel wrote the good things about David in the scriptures. David didn't write it about himself. David wrote the falls. That's one
Yeah.
thing I think amazing. And if we know that, like we can understand that those men had good and bad because we all do because we're natural men, and
Yeah.
has never stopped God's power from working through somebody. And shame on us for letting it like that stop us because us needs the wrong voice if that's the case. And the right voice
Yeah.
says you can do it. Get out there, shine light. Don't wait. Don't wait until you think you're ready because you'll never be ready.
Mm,
But through me, you will always be ready. And I think
yeah.
that's the truth, man.
I don't know about you, man. I spent some time like worried about what everybody else was thinking about, some
Well,
things and like, it's like, you know what? It's what God thinks, man. It's him, and
yeah,
he's put that junk as far as the east is from the west let's go.
yeah, I love that.
Oh man. Well, man, God's using you. You're working through this. You're getting your body ready. You're getting your mind ready. You're getting everything ready for this. So for people who want to like just follow along, for people who want to, I don't know, even be a part of it, pray for you. Like what can people do? Because this is. We got almost a whole year.
Yeah,
You're going to be prepping and getting ready for this. This is like ultras. It's a long-term thing. It's not a boom. And you've been getting ready for this, but for people who want to follow along, man, what can they do for people who want to be a part of it? How can they be a
yeah.
part of it?
That's a great question. So right now, so we'll eventually, have YouTube stuff that as we're running, as we get closer, we'll do a documentary. But right now, I think if you want to be part of it, you want to see the ins and outs, you can go on Instagram, Chris Runs America, or you can go on Facebook, just Chris Avery. I'm the guy with the beard that's covered in snow, and you'll recognize me. And so those are the two best places to follow along right now.
Nice.
But we have some more stuff we're working on right now to grow it bigger and have easier access and stuff like that. So
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah,
I'll put those links in the show notes so everybody can go. If people are interested in your coaching, and just wanting some guidance, wanting somebody to help them walk through life. Some young men, yeah, young,
yeah,
yes, young to
yeah,
me now. So yeah,
yeah,
young man, yeah, yeah, I'm old.
younger,
Yeah, younger, yeah, younger man, yeah. Will they find links to that in your social media?
Yeah, so you can go on social media. I have, there's there's so many social media platforms that I have now, but you can go to chrisrunsamerica.com. That's our website. You can type your information there. We can get in touch with you. If you DM me on one of those channels that I just offered, there on Instagram, there's Chris Avery Coaching too. If you DM me on any of those, I'd be happy to respond and have a conversation and just see if you're a good fit and we're a good fit to rock and roll and kick some butt together.
Sweet, man. Good deal. Well, I'm going to be following along too. And if you're up for it, man, let's do at least another one before you start the adventure. And dude, I would love to, even while you're on it, let's check in, dude. What's going on? I would love that. It'd be fun I love doing before and afters and durings and
awesome different perspectives for you, I'm sure, before, during, and after. Those are good ones to get.
I love that. Okay, what's the plan? And it'd be like, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. Well, Chris, man, thanks so much for coming on, dude. Fantastic to visit with you. And I definitely want to keep in touch, and let's keep it going, man. Let's keep the conversation going.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate your time.
In the fire of the fight, you're shaping me. Through the trials and the heat, I'm learning to see. This world's got noise, but your word cuts through. A warrior's heart, made to follow you. Bring my pride, refine my will, train my hands with strength to build. Raise me up to lead with grace and fight the good fight in my place. I was forced in the fire, made to stand, built by the word in the Father's hand. Through every storm, I'm forged by this. You called me Lord, I was made for this. I was made for this. In a world that's lost what truth should mean, you call us back to purity, to love our wives, to lead our homes, to walk by faith even if we stand alone. Not by might but by your breath, we fight the lies, we face the test, with armor on and eyes that see the man you're forging me to be. I was forged in the fire, made to stand, built by the word and the Father's hand. Through every storm, I'm forged by this. You call me Lord, I was made for this. I was made for this. Raise up the sons, awaken the men who fear the Lord and won't bend. Fathers of faith and brothers in Christ, standing together, ready to fight. We were made for this. We were made for this.